Hi, it's me, Sailor Mercury, Amy here, and today I'm going to talk about, you know, so this might not make any sense. So there was this someone on YouTube that would, keep on coming to keep coming over to YouTube. They would keep on asking, "Oh, did you see this film? Oh, what did you think of this film?" And they would never tell me what the film was. So I said, okay, that's it. I said, all right, that's it. So I blocked and banned them, you know. So it is what it is. You know, they never told me what the film they were talking about. They just kept coming around, whatever. So that's the end of that. So, yes, the first thing I want to talk about here is what I want to talk about. Oh, yeah. I think it's been a long time since I did talk about this one. Okay, so everyone would go on saying, "Oh well, Bubbles is a worthless, strike or attack to have," and they would always bring that up all the time. Well, did you forget about the water and the snow and the ice? Sure, they forgot about that. So they would always talk about that. They'd say, "Well, doesn't do anything." They would always say. Well, that's not true. Okay? It would make a lot of foes can't see where you're at. They can't see where your friends are at. They can't see who they're beating up is at. So you can get away or get them away. It makes them cold. They always say that. Oh, well, Bubbles is worthless. And then you would move and there would be Mercury Ice Bubbles freeze. And apparently they would stop after that. They would stop saying that. Yeah. And then Mercury Aqua Rensity. And then Mercury Aqua Mint. I don't know. So anyway, Shrine Aqua Illusion. Right, okay. So after all that, they would stop saying, "Oh, well, that's not worthless anymore." But they would always bring up my bubbles and say how the bubbles weren't good, the bubbles didn't do anything, which that's not true. They did do, you know. And I'd always say, so that was always the thing. I'd always say, "Oh, well, your bubbles don't do nothing," and like, what was their grounds? Like, what were they trying to say? That I was worthless and that I didn't do anything for the team? Well, which was wrong. I did a lot for the team. I was truly smart. You know, let's look at Billy from the Power Rangers, at least from Mighty Morphin into Zeo. He did a lot for them. Okay, and no one ever said anything bad about his strikes or his hits, but they would say that about me. You know, they like, "Oh, bubbles don't do nothing." Well, you ever get bubbles thrown in your side before or in your eyes? Yeah, I'm sure if that happened, you wouldn't. You. I'm sure if they got in your eyes, you certainly wouldn't be saying that because you couldn't see. So anyway, they'd always say didn't do nothing, and everybody would always make fun of this, you know. But of course, that was for Mercury Bubbles Blast. They'd always say didn't do nothing, and then later on, they would talk. Then once Mercury Ice Bubbles Freeze came along, they stopped saying that, did they? No, I'm sure they would say nothing about that. And then there was Mercury Aqua Marincity. Yeah, I know they're borrowed words, I know. And And once came Shrine Aqua Illusion after that, they would just stop it. I mean, by that point, they're like, oh, well, she's not worthless anymore. Which I never was, let's put it that way. It was always about folks putting down my bubble strike, my bubbles hit, by saying, oh, it's worthless. Oh, it didn't do nothing. Oh, why did she get it for? I don't know. Go ask Nako Takiguchi. She's the one that came up with it. I don't know. You know, like that's what was given to me. That's what I had to work with. I mean, that's what God gave me. I had to work with it. And then I got all the other strikes and the other hits after that. I mean, I got the other strikes and the other hits after that. All right? It's almost like these, you know? And I'm sure someone on YouTube is going to watch this after it drops. I mean, after it fillets and they're going to say, yeah. They're going to say, some of them are going to say that it didn't do nothing, which wasn't true. Remember when I first met Serena, Sailor Moon, right? And I threw that at one of the fiends, and they got cold and they couldn't see where any of us were at. No one was saying it didn't do nothing then. They just started saying that to all the other followings that it wasn't doing nothing. You know? So, it is what it is, you know. Say what you're going to say. Yes, you have the right to your thought. You have the right to your belief. You got a right to your take. But my thought, belief, and take is my bubbles were not worthless. My bubbles did something. Okay? It's not my mistake or my mishap that I happen to have gotten Mercury's bubbles blast first, and all you folks thought it didn't do nothing. All right? And then, as far as getting Mercury Ice Bubbles Freeze or Mercury's Aqua Rinsity, most of them are all barred words except for maybe Freeze, and Shrine Aqua Illusion, those definitely all barred words there too. You weren't saying nothing. All right? So, it is what it is. You got all these folks saying shit, putting down my bubbles, saying it didn't do nothing. And some of you would say, oh, why did you get that? Why did you get that in the first stead? I don't know. I do not know. Why I got in the first stead, I do not know. That's it. I'm Sailor Mercury Amy. I'll see you later.